Despite being pregnant, my husband made me play with him. Now that I'm hospitalized, I'm preparing to secretly leave him. Hello everybody. After 6 years together, my spouse and I married 4 years ago. First major combat together. F24 is 33 weeks pregnant with M31. My doctor diagnosed placenta previa at 20 weeks. Basically, my baby's placenta blocks my cervix, causing this condition. They said my kid would move as it grew, but it never did. 3 weeks until my C-section. I was advised I couldn't do much at 20 weeks. Rules tightened at 30 weeks. Most significantly, I couldn't have vaginal exams or intercourse, jog, lift, climb, or stand for more than 3 hours. Because my doctor said anything that causes me bleed could cause early birth. I've been doing this for 3 weeks, driving my hubby insane. He nags me about sex daily, all of them, one individual, day. I tell him I can't and set boundaries daily. My stomach is huge and I'm always exhausted, therefore I don't want sex. He doesn't like your response. Finally, he approached me and told me how doctors lie about cases to advance and make more money. He said they support
sections. I thought, okay, whatever. Since I know I have this condition, I will obviously follow the rules. He wouldn't reject me, so we had sex. I bled heavily and was afraid for several hours. I cried in the restroom while deciding what to do. After calling my doctor, she advised me to arrange an appointment immediately. I imagined a C-section in an hour at 33 weeks pregnant and cried the whole way in the car. We instantly realized I was bleeding. Let it stop and everything will be all right. Not yet ready to give birth. It did, and I'm okay. Although I was there, my doctor told me.
She questioned me about my hubby leaving. She questioned if I did something wrong. We had sex, I informed her. This may be accusatory, but it's better to know if it was random or caused by something. She repeated everything before giving me a lot of domestic abuse information. She did put them in my handbag, feeling horrible about myself. After we got in the car, I cried and yelled at my husband to never treat me that way again, and that my doctor knows what's best for me and the baby. I knew his apology was sincere. He's apologized for days, and I've been upset with him. He questioned how long I would hold him accountable. I answered him, at least until the baby is born. Is AITA in charge? Thoughts. They were. Oop says they met at different ages. I graduated high school before we started dating. When we met, I was 17 and out of college. My family resides out of state, but we see them often. Check those flyers. I checked them when she gave them to me, but they were thrown away. Magic fairy don't waste things, someone said. Someone discards them. Who kicked them out? You. Are you an abuser who doesn't want you to read the leaflet's critical information? Outside the box. I combined them with other papers we had waiting. He presumably went through them all and removed the unnecessary ones. I think he didn't mean it. When users break resource linkages, OOP reacts, yes, all. I'm reading the comments. I couldn't find them in our recycling bin. They came from my doctor. NTA commenter: can someone with this little critical thinking hold down a job out of the box? He usually thinks seriously. Actually, he's a cop. First update, I wasn't going to upload one since it featured too much personal information and I didn't want friends to read it, but I will now. I have no idea why. Apparently I got some nice remarks. About 7 hours ago. I'm amazed at the response. I can't thank polite internet users enough. My brother, sister-in-law, and doctor were my initial targets, but I wasn't interested in discussing it with him. My normal medical checkup was moved to tomorrow. Some folks said I could walk in, but I didn't want to tell my spouse. I'm afraid because what was said made me comprehend how horrible things are. I called my SIL after she got home from work and talked for a while. The statements showed that my brother and SIL never liked my spouse. She was kind and helpful during our conversation. Now I know it was rape, not just sex, let me say. That was our main topic for a while. She promptly resolved the confusing issue. My sister was furious when I told her my mother hid stuff because she liked my husband. I didn't inform her because I imagined she'd always be that way. She advised me to consult my doctor and promised to consult my brother to resolve the issue. She said she'd get there on the first flight, but my brother can't because he has kids. I liked it, and I see my doctor tomorrow. My husband arrived home early and saw. I was furious. My plan was to get ready before he got home, but I didn't have time. Though it's hard to imagine, he seemed unusually anxious about me today while being so pleasant. I would keep quiet. I know explaining was foolish, but I did. I have no idea why. This is probably because I'm used to telling him. I know I erred. I want to quit being stupid, but it's hard to see him as my violent partner instead of my beloved husband, as I told him. To be honest, I'm hurt by him. Afraid now. Answering how I said I forcibly parted my legs to have sex and told him to calm down. He said, "Oh my fucking goodness, don't say that. Do you know that's illegal? Do you realize you accused me of battle rape?" Shoved me aside. When I apologized, he said it was okay and acted foolish. The time has arrived to realize that. Married rape is wrong. Another furious fight ensued. He called me a fool for saying that. I stated he abused people, and he chuckled. He asked, "Who are you talking to?" You started chatting about. Repeating stuff. He insisted that intercourse with his wife is not rape. He grabbed my wrist as I turned to go. When I drew back, he put his hands up and apologized because it might have considered battery on a pregnant woman by your standards. I told him I didn't want to be around him because of his arrogance. That's when I snapped. He said, "Okay, I'll go." I declined. Leaving you. He threw the credit card at me and told me to reserve a hotel. So I did. Check out my writing. I feel terrible while my sister is coming. He calls me more than once, but I never reply. Never have I seen him so enraged. If I tell him I want to take the baby, I don't know what he'll do. He desired a child. I concurred. I'm scared it won't allow me treat her gently. I want to cry every time my daughter kicks. Nobody told me having a child would make me cry so much. But I'm scared. Commenter, if it's his credit card, he can monitor your hotel and request account details. Be careful and safe. Edit Ops' spouse is police-like. Yes, that's his card, but the motel personnel understood when I explained. I'll be alone tonight because my SIL is coming. The second person. The hotel worker can't tell him which room she booked because it's illegal. I went through this. This is what they told me, sorry. The boss assured me not to worry when we spoke. He can't discuss my room or location by law. Despite trying, my spouse could not utilize his shield if they had the necessary paperwork. Reader, can you live with your siblings? What hospital is nearby? Will baby be there? He won't let you leave the state when the baby is born, making your life worse. You must be safe and have help before giving delivery. That is my plan. Braxton Hicks for the first time made me bleed all night. If I came alone or had an early birth, I would die. I'm afraid yet trying not to speak. To my hubby. The husband noticed the post after it gained popularity and topped the list. Thanks for alerting me, I wasn't aware. They're unlikely to locate it, but I don't think I mentioned anything particular. Something about her. To believe that when you try to shield yourself, someone you love and thought was your true friend pulls off his mask and reveals himself must be unsettling. That's scary. I'm surprised he turned meaner and harsher than ever when I said something he didn't like. Tell her to seek a lawyer. A lawyer can report it so it can't be hidden. I'm already doing it. I want my baby at home. I don't know how. I also worry that my spouse may take her if I do something wrong. I try my hardest. Without 3 weeks to get any place, I'm afraid and worried. I also know he won't let me have a C-section or give delivery alone. He'll attend. It's unclear what to do. Another brief update. I don't know how to describe the support I received from those who wanted to check on me fewer than 3 times. Much appreciated. The August 7th report mentioned meeting Braxton Hicks for the first time. I was advised to see the hospital. It wasn't my first choice, but I'm glad I did it since I was gushing down my legs by the time I got inside. I had placental abruption. 7. August 31st, 10:37 p.m. My daughter was born by emergency C-section. Though she's young, I already have to deal with a lawyer and all of this. Her birth was 33 weeks and 5 days away. Despite her size, they say she's doing well. She's in the NICU and I'm in the hospital. Even if everything is scary and stressful, seeing my child helps. Very much care has been provided to me. It will be okay, and so will she. The doctor said I could take my child home in a few weeks, less than 3 years, assuming everything goes well. The staff is excellent. After my baby was born, SIL arrived and has helped me all day. As instructed by the lawyer, I let my husband see my baby in the hospital. NICU. He probably won't damage our daughter in the hospital or do anything else. Many wonderful texts from his family and coworkers have reached me, so I'm confident he's telling me everything is okay and we're together, also striving to act that way. I suppose he was with me in the hospital during my C-section and has seen our daughter numerous times today. He entered my room this morning as the nurses helped me walk after the C-section. Because I wasn't mad, I welcomed him in. I must admit that hating him after everything was hard. I cried with him and accepted his comfort. Finally, he punched. Hug her briefly has been more essential than many other thoughts. Her safety is my top priority. No amount of effort will put her in my shoes. I have thought about her all day, even though she is just 16 hours old. My thoughts will always remember her. I'll probably not post again till they allow me see my baby more. However, I wanted to express how much I love this piece and how it has improved my life. I also advise others in similar situations to speak up without fear. What if you? Your bravery got you through. Less than 3 comments matter. Ask the NICU nurse to refer you to a social worker because your baby is there. Share everything with the social worker. Depending on your state, they can assist you find mom-friendly places. Not all domestic abuse shelters are baby-friendly, especially infant NICU birth rapidly. We have a plan for when she leaves the NICU, so no need to smile. I learned that many people concerned about my money and other things, but I'll be fine. I just took leave because I had a baby, but have a solid job and lots of savings. She and I could never lose that to him. Please tell me how long your SIL will stay with you. She has kids back home, so we're not sure. She said she or my brother would stay with me as long as I needed them. She stated they would switch occasionally. Only around 3 people are my angels. She and her spouse were in surgery. In less than a day, her husband showed her the flat. Her husband believes they're together since his friends and family talk about them, but she doesn't argue. He kissed her against her will in the hospital. No word on hospital discharge for continued sexual assault. Things that drew her there initially. Where she's heading after the hospital shuts is unknown. I was considering moving to another state, but now I'm unsure. She has no strategy for breaking Frown Oop. While I said don't, the hospital called. It didn't bother me because I had gallons of blood at my feet. Please explain why he touched your stomach. He probably didn't aim to damage the wound. He moved his hand away and apologized, saying he was used to touching my stomach from when I was pregnant. I'm sorry. Like all apologies, it seemed authentic. It was intentional. To sit, I had already put my hand there. Commenter, you're only here because he raped you. Even though he knew it was terrible for you and your baby, his only purpose was to wet his dick. Now you need an emergency C-section and watch your baby fight for life in the NICU. He disregards you and your child. He owns you and can do whatever he wants. Avoid this man at all costs. Yes, I understand. I contemplate that whenever I see or think of her. They promptly removed her and wouldn't let me see her during the C-section. I only thought she was dead or dying and he was responsible. Promise not to return. I'm glad you're okay and more is coming out. Your description of the other rapes and crimes startled me. From your post. This appeared to be a single incident. Your departure makes me joyful. Its mention enhances that. Indeed, there were many more. The one I wrote about was one of 3 I went to the hospital for. Just fear, confusion, and not knowing what to do. Before, I told the lawyer about this post. She said everything will be great if I don't say my name, his name, her name, the kid's name, the firm's name, or any advice that can't be obtained online. One more thing from Oop, no, I fully understand. I should have run away when he hurt me at 19. But I didn't, since it's she and me I'm now.